Passage 2 is a research passage, and what they were looking at was the speed of rocket launches and how things like fuel consumption and payload would affect their speed. Number 6 said a rocket identical to the one used in Experiment 1 will reach a speed of 4 kilometers per second in approximately how much time? Okay, well, there is no spot for 4 kilometers a second, but it's in between 2.9 and 5.5, and if you look in between 200 and 300, that's where it would fit. So any of the answers that would be more than 200 but less than 300 would work, and the only one that works in this case is H. Number 7 says if Experiment 1 had been extended to 600 seconds, the speed of the rocket at 600 seconds after launch would probably have been what? So as you increase time, going up by 100 seconds, you notice that speed increases. It goes from 1.3 to 2.9 and so on. But after it gets to 11, it stops. It doesn't continue increasing. So at 400 it's 11, 600 or 500 it's 11, and at 600 you would expect the same speed, 11 kilometers per second. So 7 was B. 8 says a maximum speed of 14 kilometers per second will be attained by a rocket like the ones used in Experiment 3. What is carrying a payload in which of the following ranges? So 14 kilometers per second is actually faster than any of the other payloads from Experiment 3. And one thing that you should notice is that as a payload goes down from 1,220 kilograms to 670, as that mass decreases, the maximum speed will increase. So for something to go 14 kilometers per second, it's going to have less mass than 670. So number 8 was F. Number 9 says the results of Experiment 1 best support which of the following conclusions about the speed over time of the type of rocket used in the experiment. So A says speed increases indefinitely. That's not true. It levels off at 11. B says the speed increases with time before reaching a maximum value, which is true, and that maximum value is 11. The other ones say that the speed decreases as time increases, but as time goes up, speed is going up until it hits 11. So number 9 was B. Number 10 says in Experiment 3, as the payload was increased, the maximum speed did what? So in Experiment 3, as the payload increases, so as you go up from 670 to 1,220, the maximum speed decreases. So each increment you're going down by with the payload, your maximum speed is decreasing each time, and it continues decreasing. There's no signs of it leveling off. So number 10 was H. Number 11 says, according to the passage, in order for the scientists to determine the speed of the rocket, which of the following measurements did they take? So this came from the passage, this paragraph right here. It says that to calculate the rocket speed with respect to the station, scientists compared the frequencies of the emitted and reflected radio waves. The best answer there was D. For 12, it says rocket A has a smaller payload than rocket B. The rockets use fuel at the same rate, and when they are full of fuel, they have the same mass. If the rockets are launched simultaneously and travel the same route to a distant star, which rocket, if either, will arrive first? Okay, so if they use fuel at the same rate, then that's not going to be something different between them. What is different, though, is the payload. It mentions that rocket A has a smaller payload. And from Experiment 3, there is a relationship between payload and speed. The smaller the payload, the faster the speed. We saw that in this data here. As payload decreased, the maximum speed increased. So if rocket A has a smaller payload, that means it has a faster speed. And if it has a faster speed, it's going to arrive first. So number 12 was F.